Aubrey, we have a special announcement today before we get to some very, very cool vocab. The vocabulary today, guys, is so advanced and impressive. I am very excited for you guys to choose two or three of today's words, write them down, and use them all the time.
Yes, and we're also helping you avoid a mistake because all of this vocabulary was inspired by a mistake we saw in a student essay that
Easy
you
to
could
make, too.
totally make very easy to make.
Yeah.
So be sure to listen in for that. This is great stuff today.
So great. But before we get to that amazing vocabulary, guys, the IELTS Speaking Challenge is open. We also released a bonus episode today all about the Speaking Challenge. I hope you listen to that. If you're following us, then you got it in your IELTS Energy podcast feed. But guys, let's just remind you quickly what it is. So the hardest thing for a lot of students out there, like you listening, is you don't have a chance to speak English, and it's really difficult to motivate yourself to practice enough to improve. Like that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself when you're already distracted and busy and like there's a lot to do, let alone like motivate yourself to do all the things for IELTS. So guys, we made a 30-day IELTS speaking challenge for you. You'll get an IELTS question a day for every day. 30 days plus some extra tips and vocab for the questions. So this is a challenge, guys. This is material that you can look at and be like, okay, I have to answer this question out loud. I have to speak English right now. So this whole IELTS speaking challenge is now available, guys, plus the complete IELTS package. And you will get all of this, the whole IELTS course, the challenge, and you will save $100. But the whole point is to sign up before Halloween, because Halloween is when people are scared, and we don't want you to be scared of IELTS. So guys, go to allearsenglish.com/IELTS challenge and sign up before Halloween, before October 31st.
Yes, I'm excited to see you guys in the Three Keys Facebook group. I'm in there all the time answering student questions. It's an amazing place to be when you sign up because you get to become part of Three Keys. You'll be in there too. So I will see you in there.
Very cool community.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get to this. Interesting vocab to think about today. I like this mistake because it makes me think about what non-native speakers, right? How do you view these words? What were you trying to say? So this is a cool thing to think about and some great vocab. Aubrey, can you read the inspiration for today's episode?
So first I'm going to give you the task 2 topic that this essay was written about. So you have sort of the idea here, right? So the writing task 2 was, many people are of the opinion that technology has greatly benefited our lives in every way and that it's made achieving a balance between work and personal life more attainable. What is your opinion?
That's a question from Three Keys IELTS.
It is straight from Three Keys IELTS. You will write a practice essay on that topic when you sign up. Yes. But so in that task 2 essay, this student who sent me an essay for email feedback wrote this sentence about her grandmother. She had to do house chores from sunrise until sunset restlessly for almost 50 years. So I, of course, gave her the feedback and let her know restlessly has a very different meaning. You maybe would see it under the thesaurus if you're looking for that idea of tirelessly, unceasingly, especially tirelessly. I bet they're both in the same entry on the thesaurus, but they don't mean the same thing. The thesaurus lies, you guys.
Sometimes it does. And it's so fascinating to me that the adverbs restlessly and tirelessly mean different things. I've never thought about that before, because I've never seen them side by side because we don't use them together.
Yes, crazy.
So what are the differences? What is the difference between restlessly and tirelessly? So restlessly has an idea of just like too much
Moving
energy,
a lot. Yeah.
right?
I think of it for sleep.
Can't stop moving.
I slept very restlessly last night would mean I was turning over all night long. I wasn't just like holding still, sleeping peacefully.
And it's usually negative, right? It's like so we use restlessly when you want to rest, but you can't because you're like moving. So not being able to sleep is a perfect situation of when we use the word restless, have
you heard restless leg syndrome?
Yes.
Is like people, it's
I
an
knew someone
actual
with that.
a syndrome or an illness where your legs are moving and so you can't sleep, right? So if you sort of associate it with that, it will help you remember that restless and then restlessly, the adverb to describe these types of actions is like you can't stop moving when you want to. You want to be able to
Exactly.
hold still and rest, but you just have so much energy. Maybe you drink too many cups of coffee and you're restless.
Totally. Totally. That happens to me. I'm like sensitive to caffeine now because I'm in my 40s. Ooh. Let me give you another example of restless or restlessly, guys. I used this word. I actually have a tattoo on my back. It's Arabic for restless. I don't know. I got it in
Really?
my
I
20s.
didn't
It's
know
a
that. I've never seen
total
your back.
It's a bunch of stuff back there. So, but anyway, I identified with this word in my 20s because I moved to a new city and or country every year. I was
Oh.
moving around the world every year, guys. I felt restless for most of my 20s, and it wasn't a bad thing for me back then. Like it was an exciting way to be for me because I always wanted to get to the next place and see another thing. And I was like endlessly curious and hungry for experience, you know, and I was restless for like
Yeah, it
a
would be like a
decade. I just
compliment.
jumped from place to place. So in that way, it could be a positive, but those are two very good situations, good examples of when we use the word restless. Okay. Now, tireless is the adjective, tirelessly. What does that mean? Because it's totally different.
Yes, and that would have been perfect for this sentence that
Yeah.
she could say her grandmother did house chores tirelessly, which it is so confusing because it sounds like it should mean like that she was tired. That's not what it means. It means you do it sun up to sundown, like it's
Hmm.
something that you have to do it all the time, even though you don't want to, you do it anyway.
Yeah.
That means you're tireless in your actions, or you would say, I did those house chores tirelessly.
Hmm. And I think it can, like, you can still use it if the stuff you're doing makes you tired, because it probably does, because it's more about um, consistency or length of doing something. So
Right.
if you describe doing something tirelessly, it means that you are doing this all the
For
time, nonstop.
hours.
Whether you want to or not, it could be good or bad. You know, it really could be go either way depending on context. It could be a very positive thing. If you're describing someone, maybe yourself, and you have a strong work ethic and you're in a job interview or you're on the IELTS exam and you're describing your working style, right? And you could be like, I I pride myself on being a tireless worker. I will not stop working until the project is done, and I am satisfied, right? And in that case, it's probably a positive.
For sure.
But in this sentence,
Interesting.
it's like kind of a negative because obviously she didn't want to do house
No,
chores.
nobody does. But you make a really good point that it's always about actions that take a long time. You would never say, like,
Sustained.
I made
Yeah.
myself a cup of coffee tirelessly. Nope, not possible,
That doesn't
right? It
make
has
any
to be
sense.
something that takes you a long time, whether positive or negative. It definitely implies that it's something that took you some time.
Yeah, and a very confusing word for a non-native if you haven't seen it before. Because if you see tireless, you think, oh, so less, so it has to be the opposite of tired. So you're probably full of energy or something, and that's not what it means at all. It's just about time.
It's so rude. Sometimes suffixes and prefixes really help you figure out a word. Not in this case,
Not in
guys,
this case, guys.
unfortunately. No.
Oh, English, I shake
Rude.
my finger at you. If you
Shake my
watch us on
fist at you,
YouTube, you can
English.
see I am scolding English right now. Okay, so what are some other adverbs? Let's throw some more vocab out here for you guys, words that would work in this situation. And as far as using these on IELTS, guys, um, you can make these adjectives if you take off the ly, right? So remember that. But there are so many questions that ask to describe energy and effort, right? So many different topics that these could be used for, describing people, describing experiences, describing events, describing plans in the past, present, future. So definitely write some of these down, guys, because one of the best ways and quickest ways to improve your vocabulary score is by using more adjectives and adverbs. Go deeper, be more specific in your descriptions, right? So
Yes.
let's just throw out three or four, and guys,
Well,
write these down.
I held up a 6 because I'm like, we're going to share 6 because I just thought to group them. We have 6 and they are 3 for each meaning, I think.
Oh,
we'll
perfect.
talk it through, but I think the first 3 that we're going to share have the exact same meaning, very similar to tirelessly. And then the last 3 we'll share all together are a little
Nice.
different. So these 3 are unceasingly, ceaselessly, and incessantly. And I would say these are all very synonymous, right? Avoid repeating vocabulary by using all 3. If in an essay you're talking about things that you do tirelessly or unceasingly.
Unceasingly. That's such an advanced word. I think the easiest synonym would be nonstop.
Yep.
Like that's it.
Without
That's what these
stopping.
mean, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I just found the Andy Samberg movie from years ago that I've never seen called Pop Star Never Stop Stopping. And it is one of the funniest things I've ever
I
seen,
saw
guys.
it. It's so funny.
Oh
I
my
did see
gosh.
that a while ago. It's hilarious. I love
I'm
Andy Samberg.
obsessed with it right now. It's so funny. So anyway, never stop stopping. But that's what those words mean, like nonstop, right? But very advanced ways to say that very simple idea.
And I
All
think
right.
I'm going to add, I lied. We're going to go 4 and 2 because this last one, continuously, really is the same as that, nonstop.
Yep.
But then we're going to share
Totally.
2 more that do have a little bit of a different end. This is what we mean when we say that the thesaurus lies to you, because all of these are under the entry for tirelessly. But the next 2 we're going to share do have a little bit of a different meaning. And they
Totally.
are endlessly and interminably. And they-
Interminably.
Interminably. I think I do say interminably. I wonder if this is
Nope.
one where there are 2 pronunciations. Or it's my
Interminably.
regional dialect. In Idaho, we say interminably.
Oh,
Does
crazy.
that sound so wrong to you?
Interminably. Like indubitably, with a
Interesting.
certain number of syllables. That's where the stress has to be on the second.
Interesting.
Interminably.
So we just say it wrong in Idaho.
That's so
That's not the
funny.
first thing. That's not the only thing that we say incorrectly where I grew up. There are many things.
We discover them as we record.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So these guys, it does have a connotation of like continuously, right? But this is more like it's focusing on the fact that it never ends. Like not only is it continuous and always, but it never ends. Like unceasingly and ceaselessly, it could have an end. It's just like the current situation of it is nonstop. You know
Right.
what I
These
mean?
two
Like
mean the
we're not
same
thinking
as-
about the end so much. We're thinking about the process. We're gonna keep going, keep going, keep going. But these
Right.
last
These 2 mean the same as never ending, right?
Right.
Never ending. And then as parallels, endlessly and interminably. Is that
There
right?
we go. The never-ending story. Okay, I
Oh, you're going to
shouldn't
get us
sing
sued singing that. I can
copyrighted
see them
songs. I
looking for
apologize.
someone to sue.
Um, anyway, so endlessly and interminably, guys, definitely come back to the blog, allearsenglish.com. This is episode 1220, and you can see all of these words and how to spell them there because they are very advanced vocabulary. And remember, guys, to challenge yourself to really improve in just 30 days. See your confidence and fluency really, really improve, guys. Sign up for our new IELTS challenge and the complete IELTS package so you are ready by test day. allearsenglish.com/IELTS challenge.
Yes, I want to see
right.
you guys in the course. I want to be able to help you do practice speaking exams and have you use these words. They're perfect for IELTS writing and speaking.
Totally.
Very, very band 9.
So
Band 9
impressive.
vocabulary, all of these, right?
For sure. For sure. All right, Aubrey. Great recording with you this week, and I'll see you next week.
All right, see ya.
Bye.